We have to recognize that there is a spiritual realm. I remember when I first became a Christian, somebody told me that the spiritual realm is so active in our lives that it's more real than the physical realm that we actually live in. You see, true abiding reality is actually found in the spiritual realm. We do not look at things which are seen, but at the things that are not seen. For the things that are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. I want to talk today about curses. The funny thing about curses is that they have a source. They have a starting point. It could be something like disobedience. Say we broke one of God's commandments, or God spoke to us specifically about something that He wanted us to do. So, a commandment, a personal commandment to us, and we decided to disobey Him. Another way that a curse can come into our life is spoken through authority figures in our life. You see, in the spiritual realm, the principle of authority is just as real as the principle of gravity. Now, in the family, God has set it up to where God is head over Jesus. Jesus is the head over the husband, and the husband is the head over the wife. We also have religious figures in our life, and they have authority to speak into our lives, like pastors and bishops. Did you know that teachers actually have authority to speak either blessings or curses into children's lives? And we also speak into our own lives, whether it's blessings or curses. We say things like, I'd be better off dead. And then later on we say, I didn't mean that. But Jesus warns us to watch our idle words. That's how important our words are. But I say to you that every idle word men may speak, they will give an account of it at the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Here are some signs of a possible curse in someone's life. If there's mental breakdowns, emotional breakdowns. Now, I'm not talking about a one-time deal. If there's a one-time breakdown, it's probably something different. But if there's a history that runs through a family of mental breakdowns, emotional breakdowns, they keep happening, there's probably a curse there. Wherever there's confusion and depression, there's demonic activity. God does not produce confusion. Chronic illness. I'm talking about something that keeps coming back and back and back, and it's one sickness after the next. Something that you definitely want to look for is when there's an issue where there's no clear medical diagnosis. The doctors are always confused. We're on this lifelong quest to try to figure out what's going on. That's a sign that there could be a curse. Another thing you want to look for is that generational sickness, a sickness or disease that runs through generation after generation after generation. That's a curse. The breakdown of family and marriage. Again, it boils down to if this is happening generationally. It could even be just 2 generations. You see where there's a divorce going on. That is a curse. Continuing financial struggle. Let's say you're doing your budget and there's plenty of money there, but at the end of every month you always come up short. There's probably a curse there. You see, prosperity is a blessing. Poverty is a curse. Being accident prone, untimely deaths and suicides. Again, it boils down to a history of this. Now if somebody has an unusual number of strange accidents, or if there's, a lot of untimely deaths that have run through a family, or suicides, there's probably a curse there. How do we get set free from a curse? Well, the answer is solely in the sacrificial death of Jesus Christ on the cross. You see, there was an exchange there. He endured all the evil consequences from our actions that was deserved for us. He endured all of that in exchange for all of the good that was due to the perfectly sinless, obedient Jesus. In other words, on the cross, he became sin because of our sinfulness, and then we received his righteousness. So he became sin and gave us his righteousness. That was the exchange. Jesus was punished that we might be forgiven. Jesus was wounded that we might be healed. Jesus died our death that we might share his life. Jesus bore our shame that we might share his glory. And Jesus became a curse that we might receive the blessing. Deuteronomy says, anyone hung on a tree becomes a curse. See, we have to believe and confess these things with our mouth. We also have to disconnect ourselves from any satanic activity at all. Go through your home. Go around, look around at the different pictures on your walls. Look for these little strange figures that somebody gave them to you as they went on vacation. You're not quite sure what they are. Get rid of those things. You don't want to give the enemy any sort of foothold, any kind of permission to come into your home, into your life. And when I say get rid of them, I'm talking burn them. All right? Don't sell them. Don't give them to someone else. Don't put them in your garbage so that someone else could pick them out. You know, and start looking at your words. Start looking at your words and what you're saying, and look at the authority figures in your life and pay attention to what they're speaking into your life.